What's up, Candy Ken? What's up, Baby J? How's it going?
Not today.
Candy Ken and Baby J.
It's Candy Ken.
Welcome to the Candy Ken Show.
I think like certain people like gravitate to certain things when they're young, and I really, was one of those troublemaker, busybody kids who was always like distracted in class and class clown. But I can always tap into some animal information, and that would get my attention. So it was dogs and horses, reading books and things like that. And read a lot of books about Tom Sawyer and all this stuff that a lot of kids, the Harry Potter types, I'd be like, I'm just into animals. And, my mom used to let me have animals. I'd be bringing pit bulls home and, it says, well, if you take care of it, cool. So I was just pretty much got a love for animals. And then, life went on. I went to school after high school. I ended up going to an aviation maintenance school. And then 9/11 happened. So the whole industry fell out. And then, the whole marijuana craze came. So, I indulged in a little bit of the growing and all that kind of stuff, because it was kind of early in that world. And then in the process, I always had dogs, but then I kind of reverted back to dogs when I had that process going on because I was into the security of it, right? And I always liked that the dogs, I was a single mother household or single parent household, my mother. So, I always liked the idea of having that extra edge of security. Companionship. I was the only child, so having that extra companionship was always cool. So later on, like I said, I got serious with dogs because I was keeping them, as companions they were my growing buddies. Way before everybody was jumping in this industry, before it was a little bit on the other side, or more of the dark side. Before it came to light, and now everybody's doing it, right? But basically, I thought I always was infatuated with working dogs, and I was able to get around a couple coaches, trainers who were local in my city. I'm from Oakland, California, and I was able to learn the art, man, and like dancing with wolves. You just learn how to get into the groove and understand the psychology of the animal, and then from there, I was able to get out of that other industry and really focus on helping people with their animals. I just found a love and a passion for it. I got into a different competitive sports with dog training, like what you train protection dogs, but it's like figure skating or golf for dog training. So I got at the high level, and because of my athleticism, I was able to get around a lot of circles in Europe. I was able to go to places like Germany, France, Austria, Switzerland, going to a lot of different things because that's German Shepherds and that high level dog training is really big in Europe. So I was able to learn from a lot of coaches, and then I basically got all the information, man, and came back to Cali, man, and just put my hustle down, and really built a business to help a lot of people and create a great lifestyle for myself.
Man, yeah, your documentaries on Netflix really changed my whole perception, and it was just really cool. Especially the one episode with I think there was like a younger kid with a poodle.
Yes.
And I mean, the whole putting on shoes and like how you said, like, yo, like animal is an animal, and you gotta like, it's like you said, like, I remember, like, it's not about like dominance, but it's really about like guidelines and really guiding your dog.
Yeah, leadership.
You need leadership. And I think, especially in today's society, we don't have no more leadership. I feel a lot of men, they lack leadership, and they lack any kind of leadership. There's no
discipline
more heroes. Like there's no discipline, and we're just in such a soft society where it's just a very soft man society. Even if when you look at like guys, or like when I bring my kid to his school, I see all the dads with their bellies and their like shoes with the N on it, and like they're letting themselves go, and so are their dogs. Like they don't have like a big masculine dog; they have like little dogs, and it's just crazy. Well, and when I watched your show, I was like, wow, like you're very masculine in a non-toxic way. Like I feel like the masculinity and the testosterone, especially even of a dog, needs to be controlled and put to purpose.
For sure.
And I think a lot of people say that's why the military or martial arts or any kind of sport is very interesting and very good for a young man growing up. If you don't channel your testosterone, you'll shoot up a school or do some dumb shit. So I feel like it's the same with a dog. Like you need to channel that testosterone, and really, I think like watching your show, it really showed me like as a man to have a dog is a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Well, it's funny you say the thing about like channeling energy. I was a troublemaker. On my show, I talked about my best friend who did 26 years in prison. He's
Mm.
home now. He's working for me up in the Bay, running my Bay facility. He just came home this year. But we were running around wild boys as young dudes in Oakland. And it was very important for me to get into sports and then redirect that energy. So I played sports, and when I got around that different circle and I redirected the energy, I was able to be on a roll, go to, looking at doing college type of stuff when I never would have thought. It's like, I was that kid who was, least expected to make it based on my behavior. And what ends up happening is when you do get discipline focused and you have drive, a lot of times it's drive. Like a lot of dogs, they have drive, but it gets misdirected. Pit bulls end up going in, instead of, going and doing some kind of constructive training or some kind of discipline, they go and chase down cats and kill small dogs, and then they get the bad rap. But in fact, that's an incredible dog with incredible potential to be the perfect everything dog. A lot of times the pit bull is known as the nanny dog, which was able to be good with around kids and things like that. But with media, they're gonna put it out there. Oh, these dogs are so dangerous. When in fact, people are just softening up with dog training, because
Yeah.
even dog training got extra soft, right? So what happens? You had like the old school trainers that were very like, heavy-handed on dogs, and I think even dogs back in the day were a little more dog. They were more dominant, and then they started breeding a lot of this stuff out of the dogs,
Yeah.
right? And making them easier to handle. So then now people don't have to train them, or they're just training, they have to manage this insecure dog that doesn't have all the qualities that the breed actually should have. And I think it's just with everybody and dogs, we all need to figure out what's going to be the best recipe for us to be able to, take that energy and put it towards something constructive. Even like when it comes to being in trouble and getting into things, you could use a lot of the hustlers on the streets would be excellent CEOs. They got more wit and more street smarts and all this stuff than a lot of these people who are actually running these big companies. But they're in the wrong direction. They're
Yeah.
selling drugs that are going to get them, caught up in the system. So coming from a place where I come from, I come from a place where the Black Panthers were formed, so more revolutionary. But again, that whole movement got taken down by crack, and it got taken down by, COINTELPRO and a whole government movement to, shake up the inner city. And they put a lot of people on drugs, you know what I mean, and to push their agenda. And for me, man, I just always about being conscious and just knowing who you are and reaching your potential and not getting caught up in the distractions, right? Because even with dog training, the first thing we teach is we get them to have fun first, right? That's the first ingredient, is make sure they're motivated and make sure that they're excited about the game that we're gonna play of dog training. But then the first thing we're asked is focus. And we want to maintain focus throughout the whole process, right? If you got your dog engaged in focus, now you have a dog that's less likely to become distracted. So if you're dealing with a child, keeping them engaged, keeping them focused, understanding what motivates them is going to keep them from doing the other things, as long as they're being managed, right? So again, there's so much more to dog training than what meets the eye, right? It really is like a leadership thing. If you understand dog training, you can run a better company, you can run a better household, you could run a better family structure. All of this stuff all comes down to certain principles that we apply in dog training. So it is really universal around the board with all the lessons you take from.
I have a big problem with the how soft everything is at the moment. I don't know. Did you watch the new Barbie movie?
I didn't. My
You
wife
didn't?
did.
Yeah.
She went and checked it out, but I didn't get a chance to
Yeah,
check it out.
don't bother, because it's really a representative of like how fucked up the everything is at the moment. How they represent men and how they just blame them for everything that's going wrong in society. I feel like I think you showcased that the best, that there's being disciplined and guiding a young dog or a young man is very important and necessary. And if you just let your kid do whatever you want and don't discipline a kid, it's not gonna go well for that kid. And I think, like you said, like being a good dog owner transfers over to being a good company leader or a good dad, a better father, or even a better husband.
For sure.
Discipline is key, and this softness is really, really bad for the whole society. And they mistake toxic masculinity and want us to be like women these days. I feel like you got to be like so in touch with your feminine side. And even though I'm sitting on for me, colors have no male, female. I don't care about that stuff. Has
Right.
nothing to do for me. I like I always like flowers and like crazy colorful stuff. But that doesn't mean that I can't be like a masculine guy and be very disciplined
Right.
in who I am. And it just really saddens me to see men these days, or how we get treated and how they want us to be so soft, when it is so beautiful when you are like you said, like you can guide it towards criminality and become like a dealer, or you can guide it and make a business and become your own boss, like how you did.
Right.
And you said that you were like the least to be making it from like your friends group, or just like where you grew up.
Well, just like for my friends group, or just just that you could be part of the cycle.
Yeah.
You could be part of the cycle. You get caught up in what they call the trap.
Yeah.
A lot of times people talk about the trap music, and trap. If you go back to T.I.'s documentaries, he talks about the trap. Traps are really trap. It's meant to trap you in there. You know what I mean? So people try to make fun of make light of it, but it's like the trap is a trap. Like you're in a drug dealer environment where you're gonna go down for either having a gun on you, or having to be affiliated, or there's so many traps within like the inner city. So I think that it's just one of those things. You have to and a lot of the alpha males get caught up in it, right? So a lot of the dudes who are the ones who could be great leaders end up getting misdirected, and then they get taken out of the equation. So then we just have whoever else is left, right? But it's unfortunate because, like, honestly, I try to be an example for people who come from where I come from, and people who, say, you don't have to just be a basketball player. A lot of times they paint this picture like you just be a basketball player or be an entertainer or a rapper. But you got to think about rap is doing nothing but, see, I train dogs, so we're repetitively reinforcing good things in our dogs. We want them to practice those behaviors. But if you really think about it, the music that is pumped into society nowadays is very toxic. But that repetition is going to go in your subconscious. Same way we train dogs, they're training us, right? And you singing along, you don't realize you're programming yourself. You see what I mean? And a lot of these people who don't, like children, they don't have the right or wrong. They just hear murder, 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 kill, kill, kill. You see what I mean? But they listen to it, and they listen to it, and they listen to it. And these big companies are putting big money behind it, right? And guess what's happening? The prison system's just filling in, and the lawyers are getting paid, and the judges are getting paid. And, the whole goal, man, is we got to break that cycle, right? So what I try to do, I speak to a lot of children, juvenile hall. I go to the prisons, talk to a lot of the inmates who are in the dog programs, and, try to show them there's a way. And it's not about just doing it through the typical stuff, And yeah, man, I think that, like I said, dog training and life are like parallel. You know what I mean? You can learn so much from being, engaging with your dog, understanding the psychology behind it.
Not only that, I think they always say like the dog owner and the dog look alike. What do you think about that?
I mean, I'm high energy. I got a high energy dog.
Yeah.
I'm intense. He's intense.
I mean, you're like attracted by
kind of like your qualities,
your skills, and
yeah,
like how you want to see yourself at least. Like I always want to, like as when I was looking at dogs, I would always like pick like a Doberman because it's like so superior and like so strong, like the muscles and like the ears. It seems like a king in its feel kind of.
Right. Yeah. No, I love the Doberman. Actually, I was at one of my clients. I don't hold her name, but he's a ball player. He got a new Doberman yesterday. Beautiful dog. But like you said, he just looks like that royalty type look,
And they are so mistaken because like they're like, oh my God, like not good around children and stuff, which is like completely wrong. I think it's like how they do it with the shark, like where sharks are like the least to attack if they're not like triggered.
Agitated.
Yeah, exactly.
And then also socialized. with my training, we don't just focus on like obedience training. We work on obedience, socialization, agility, behavior management, and problem solving.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think about it, it's like having all these different qualities. Not only is the dog obedient, but he's tolerant, right? So we have to, as people, need to be tolerant of everything and be able to handle, be in any situation and still be comfortable, be able to say, hey, I'm fine. I'm not scared. I'm not aggressive. I'm not, it's all about being tolerant because you've been exposed, right? And then agile, being able to get over obstacles, get under things, get over things, and then behavior management, controlling your emotions, controlling, having a, road rage and jumping out the car. All of these things are things that we need as people, and then when you have problems, how to communicate, problem-solving techniques, how are you plots? He likes his couch. He's getting comfortable. Usually I don't let him on the couch, by the way.
Okay.
Couches and beds usually off limits just to keep that pack dynamic going on, but he's chilling today. But, even the problem-solving techniques, all these things are things that really people need.
Yeah, because people don't have that nowadays. They have nothing. There's no emotional control at all.
No.
Everybody's depressed, anxious at all times.
Right.
There's a two-gender bathroom. It's already irritated. There's no tolerance to any sort of like problem, and that those are not even real problems. We just make them up at this point. We're so bored and comfortable. I feel like back in the days when you had to go to war, you can't wake up and be depressed. Like there's no options. Like
no.
You wake up, you got to get to work. Like you got to get this done. And I feel like that's why Andrew Tate and people like that are so heavily watched. I think it's because he's like, as a man, you got to do things that you don't want to do. You just got to get them done.
Right.
And that's not a thing these days anymore. Anything that is hard work is not admired anymore.
Right. Everybody just wants the easy path.
Yeah.
Everybody's so distracted. They just used to scrolling and getting,
quick dopamine.
Yeah, quick dopamine hit, right? So that's the thing is like, that's why people do gravitate towards Andrew Tate. And the thing is I feel like he is a great teacher, but with social media, people do things to create that buzz and create that attention. And sometimes I think he kind of shot himself in the foot a couple of times because honestly, I think he has great messages, for young men who are, males coming up. But again, you have to be careful, with everything you do. Unfortunately, we don't live in a free society. You say stuff, it will be used against you.
Exactly.
So I think that...
but then maybe he would have never gotten the attention in the first place.
So you got to be extreme.
The first time I saw him was when he was like, women can't drive, and how much is your Bugatti? Like those crazy...
Right, but it's extreme things that are going to get attention.
Exactly.
Like even when I looked at Candy Can, I go, Candy Can, man, this dude's colorful. Oh man, he's doing that. But I said, I'm going to pull up on that set. Dude's going to be just cool, regular shit. I said, I know what he's doing.
Okay.
And I said, okay, that's the whole thing. Everybody's got to have something that's going to get that attention.
I mean, because it's so oversaturated these days, right?
You just look like everybody, and exactly. So
if you don't look like a clown, they're just gonna click away at any point, kind of.
Right. So whatever gets the people to engage, whatever you got to do to make it happen, get your message through. But again, unfortunately, they trying to accuse him of this and accuse him of that. I think God will prevail. He converted to Islam. I'm Muslim.
Nice.
So I think that cleans you up a lot.
Yeah.
It really cleans you up. And the thing is, the beautiful thing about Islam is it's almost like and nobody's perfect. You know what I'm saying? I say I'm a Muslim. Don't try to hold me to everything that I do like I'm just a perfect Muslim. Nobody's perfect but God, right? But the thing is it gives you kind of a blueprint of how you're supposed to conduct yourself, how you're supposed to respect your parents, how you're supposed to respect your man, fellow man, how you're supposed to respect your woman. How, getting married is half of your deen. So people don't even want to talk marriage no more.
Yeah.
When in Islam, that's half your religion, get married, right? And I'll tell you right now, the minute I got married, my whole life changed. Because, again, focus, discipline, companionship, having that whole family structure. And I think that today's society, they don't really want to see that because it's a lot easier to control people who are divided.
Of course, that's the only way. If everybody's athletic and thinking themselves, the whole government, everything is in big trouble.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, think about when you go home and you got, your wife to talk to. And you get something off your chest or get that, you know what I mean? You don't have that to talk to. Now you just cooped up or you're just looking for the internet and you're looking for, you know what I mean? So that gives you completion. And I think a lot of people, they're so lost in the sauce, trends and this and that, and the pressure of social media and the pressure of this and the pressure of that, and it's all fake. We live in LA. We see what it is. You know what I'm saying? It's like a lot of stuff is hype. You know what I mean? But they control people with that. You know, but it's really manipulation. We manipulate dogs to get the behavior we want. So it's funny when I watch media and all of these different influencers or whatever be able to manipulate people and get them to behave a certain way based on, you know, how they're manipulating things. So it's a crazy world we're living in, man. But, you know, as long as you stay grounded and, you know, keep it solid, I think you can make it.
But like, without a dad, how did you get this kind of like discipline and like this kind of like knowledge that you like break out of these cycles and like how did you do it?
So, I mean, I had a hard-ass mom.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? She was tough. She's still tough. I'll be 40 years old this year. She's still, you know, she's still tough as nails. But I think that, you know, a lot of strong women have to overcompensate, you know, and be extra tough, which then they don't get to be the feminine mom, you know, and that nurturing mom because they have to do the dad thing too.
Yeah.
I think, you know, having a strong mom, but also having positive people in my life, you know.
But you had any kind of like father figures or no?
You know, yes and no. You know, she would try to line me up with people who I could learn from. You know, she has a skincare business in the Bay Area. She's done skincare for a long time. So part of her clientele would, you know, she would get people who say, "Hey, you meet my son, or let my son come hang out with you." So yeah, I always had some. But a lot of what I learned was actually from my mentors. And I'm cool with my dad. Don't get me wrong. He's just in New York. We left when I was young, came to Cali. But I have like mentors, you know, and I really learned a lot. Actually, once I became an adult, you know, so it's like that's the one thing. If you don't have your father in the household, sometimes you don't really get that man stuff that you like. What I'm giving my son now, what you're giving your son, even at 2 years old, you know, you're right there to give them that. You know, fill up their cup of their manhood. You know, and as toxic as it may sound, they need womanhood and they need manhood. You see what I mean? It's just that's what creates balance. You know,
sounds good to me.
You know, and but again, you know, even in you know. In today's, you know, we have, you know, the LGBT, for example, you know, but there's still usually, you know, you can still be a man, even though, you know, you're attracted to the same sex. But it's like just that balance, the dominant, the feminine, you know what I mean? And just be able to say like, hey, you know, you don't necessarily have to go all in on one direction. Like let the child grow up to what they're supposed to be by giving them balance. You know, whatever they're going to be, they're going to be. You know, but I think sometimes, you know, a lot of times men who are totally raised by women, they have emotional issues because they're learning how to, you know, women are more emotional, you know, which is a beautiful thing. You know, we need that. You know, I mean, men, we got to hunt. Women need to, you know, come and you know, nurture and that, I mean, that's how I operate. My wife is North African, so she's a lot more traditional, a lot more cultural because they have traditions of years. She's like American women, a lot of times, they've been brought up in this culture. So culture's been all over the place in the last 50 years, right? Whereas there, it's been a lot the same for the last 1,000 years, which is a beautiful thing. And I think that, again, with us, we just have a good yin and a yang. But with my mom, you know, I was kind of off balance, but, you know, I just got it where I could get it, you know? And I have mentors. Like I said, my mentors were able to, you know, when I was hot-headed, it was, hey, man, what's up? Like, calm that shit down. You know what I mean? Like, you know, you a man. Gather yourself. Like, don't lose your cool. Or don't get caught up in this. Or don't get caught up in that. And then I think just life, man. Like life is gonna, you know, wherever you're weak, say whatever you can, you don't have. I feel like whatever hand you're dealt, some people got dealt the best hand. Trust funds, you know, Range Rover at 16, you know, have no worries. Father runs this company, you'll guarantee you have a $250,000 job. Then you have a $250,000 job, and then you have people who have absolute nothing, and they have to grind for theirs. You see what I mean? So I feel like whatever you have to grind for, that just makes you stronger. And a lot of times people who had nothing are stronger when shit gets thick than the people who had no stress. And the same thing goes for puppies, right? You deliberately flip a puppy upside down, make noise in his environment, you know, let him run around with other dogs, have him have to fend for himself a little bit. That makes him tough. And in life, we need to be made tough because life is not going to be easy all the time. So we have to become desensitized so then later on we can be tough. and handle life, But a lot of times people who never had to have that stress, they get it later on, and then they don't know how to deal with it. Then they nosedive. Whereas some people, they so used to having obstacles in their life, it's just like it fires them up even more, stimulates them to do better and push them harder. And the resistance creates so much more drive to get it done. So again, that's all stuff. We actually do reverse response. So if I want my dog to come in faster, I'll hold him back and frustrate him. And then I'll let him go. And now he's going to come in harder. So that same thing, you hold me back, you're just going to piss me off to make me come harder, right? So again, all of these cycles, it's all the same. It's all the same. It's like, life is crazy like that. But I honestly think that not having my father in my life was because now he's there. We're cool. I got I get what I get from him. I get what I get from my mom. And again, the time, you can't replace the time because, of course, my mom she put in the time. So my loyalty is going to be towards, obviously, but again, that's still my pops. And as a man, I'm going to look at it and say, that's still my man. That's still me. I'm still off. I'm out. That nutsack right there. You see what I mean? And that's genetics because it's just like dogs are just a product of what their parents are. So if you want a working dog, well, you got mom and dad, you got to look at what they were doing if you're going to have a dog that's going to compete at a high level. And if they didn't do that, then you're probably not going to, you know what I mean? You need to consider another dog if you're trying to go compete. But the thing is like, you have to acknowledge who you come from. A lot of times people get so wrapped up in their emotions, like they hate their dad or they wasn't there. But you know what? Take the time to have some forgiveness and learn about yourself through your parents, right? And turn that negative to a positive and understand that your genetics plays a huge role in who you are. And if you know your genetics, you know your parents, you know their weak points, you know what they become triggered, you know their health and all these things, you could prevent it by compensating if you know it. So again, I think there's a lot of benefit to figuring out who you come from, where your bloodline is, and what your parents did, or what they're good at. But yeah, man, I shout out to my mom, Kat. She's a great woman. Growing up without my pops, it's very common. A lot of my friends all didn't have their pops, right? I could count every best friend I had, with the exception of maybe 2, had their pops in their life. Maybe 7 really tight friends. And guess what? We all excellent fathers because we overcompensating for what we didn't have. You see me? Everybody's a coach. Everybody's a mentor. Everybody has the league of some sort. Everybody's devoted towards helping, their kids and man. So I never look at what you don't have as like a holdback. It's actually kind of a boost because you make up for it.
But when it comes now to your son, I have a son too, and I ask myself this like a lot, like how can I prevent him to become soft? Because like you said, there's so much personality already in this child that I can see that I don't even teach him. I can see it. Right? There's so much personality. And even me and my brother, like my brother, like I always give him shit because to me he's soft, right? But I'm not his dad. So he doesn't take it from me. But like I want to make him hard. Like I want like it to be like me, be hard, stop being soft. But it's hard because it seems like he has a certain personality and my parents keep telling me that he's not like me, which is hard for me to accept because I feel like I used to be soft and I wasn't always disciplined and I let myself go and had no direction. And then I found the gym and I found different ways to direct like my anger and my testosterone. And now that I have a son, I really ask myself like every day, like how do I teach him discipline? And I was wondering, like, are you thinking about that?
Yeah, I try to do it by example.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's how because you can't really like punch it into him, right? And like oh my God, this is crazy. When I saw you train the dogs, it's never with punishment. It's never like you do something wrong, I'm gonna hit you. It's always with treats, which is
it's balance. There's punishment.
Okay.
Even if I take a treat away, that's punishment. It's called negative punishment.
I know, but you're not like hitting him.
Right.
Caging him like how we do with humans. When you fuck up like your friend,
right?
You do one mistake.
Yeah, capital punishment.
25 years, right?
Yeah.
There's no which is insane because like that was like one moment where you made the wrong choice. That shouldn't like define who you are as a person. and like to like the prison system is just so fucked up to like lock somebody in like like worse than an animal
Right.
for 25 years.
Right. They won't even lock an animal up like they
No.
did to certain people. But again, that's the history of this country.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That could go down a real rabbit hole, and I love to discuss that, But on subject, as far as keeping my son tough,
Mhm.
because of course, man's man, alpha male, I want my son to, but at the end of the day, I feel like, it's just teaching him the discipline as well. Like, this is wrong, you can't do this. This is right, great job. Get him around everybody. When COVID happened, I was a little bit, we had our little tribe, and I was very important because I want my son to socialize early. So here, take my son, hold him, go over there.
Mhm.
I'm going over here. And you see kids who are so codependent of their parents. You know what I mean? So again, I'll stress him early, even though it's not really stressing him. It's light stress,
Mhm.
baby stress. Okay, I'm away. Or let him cry it out. Or say when it was time to go to sleep, all right, doors closed, night-night, and guess what? You sleep. But some people, they got to sleep with their parents. Kids 5 years old, they locked in their kid. They can't even have an intimate life because the kid is like right there. And so I think just implementing lots of support and praise, but some structure even in your small children, right? That's wrong. Don't do that. Don't ever do that. You see? Let them think about it. Okay, you're not gonna get a hug for a second. You gotta think about that. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
And again, that's important. But if mom goes, buddy, oh my God, that's a problem because everybody needs to be on the same. If we teaching it, it's like two parents or two dog owners. They need to be spitting the same language, not I'm doing it like this, you doing it like this. We're a competition. Now the kid's got options and he's got a least path of resistance and he's gonna test this one more than this one. You see what I mean? That's why even raising children is so important. Because like sometimes my son, he's my son. He's gonna, he'll challenge my wife. I go, excuse me, you heard what she said? He go, yes, daddy. Okay, let's get it done. You see? So again, it's that little discipline, even early on. But again, ready to go to park? Yeah. You want to go to Cali K9? Yeah. You want to watch All My Life by Lil J. Cole? Yeah. You know what I mean? Whatever he likes to do, let's do it. It's your world, man, at all times. But we got to follow these boundaries. Same thing we train with dogs, right? Dogs got a great life, but you got to have boundaries. Can't do this, that's off limits. Because liability. It's like same thing with a kid, right? You can't do that. You can't get in the habit of doing that. And they're going to end up in jail if you continue to do that kind of behavior. If you continue to rebel against authority, you're going to continue to rebel against authority. So I guess as parents and guardians, we need to guard them and be parents and really be the ones to reinforce and instill the values that they need. And I think that's, you got to be careful in today because you got so much stuff on the internet, so many things that can pull your kids' attention away from you and your parenting. As I say, it's a lot easier to train a dog because you can manage their environment. You see? Once a kid goes to school and he goes to his friend's house and he goes to the internet and it's a lot of influence. So I think time right now is when they're young is to really dial them in and really get them to love everything about being engaged with their family. So that's going to make them trust you and respect you. But again, you got to lead by example. You do bad things or you being a bad example or you acting a certain way in them, they're going to pick up on that. So I think it's super important to be who you want your kids to be.
Absolutely. It's crazy when a parent has to do both roles, I feel like, because that puts like your mom having to be like now a strong father figure, but also a mom.
Right.
That's crazy because like it seems like if you do it as a team, you can still provide that, like you said, like the yin and yang, and like maybe like it's hard to play both roles. Like if you have to discipline, but then also be very loving.
Right.
Right. So
Yeah.
like,
Well, I think that you got to do what you got to do.
yeah.
And that is saying that not everybody has the options. You know what I mean? Like, you have to work with the hand that you're dealt.
Yeah.
Back to that, So, whatever you don't have, you just gotta, like I said, do your best to try to overcompensate for it. Wherever the dog's not strong, it's like somebody might be genetically, have a great back, working out, or great legs, or great quads, but small calves, whatever the case may be. You gotta overcompensate.
Yeah.
You know, you're not gonna do so much on this area, you're gonna work on this area and work a double down on that one. So I look at the same thing with raising children, dogs, you know, wherever, like say I do aggression. So okay, aggression. We got 2 times the socialization, 4 times socialization for this dog versus this dog. This dog's already social. But this dog right here could be a problem. We got to double down on. Got to double down on those obedience because his motivation might overtake his brain and have him blow past you, you know? So again, it's all about figuring out the balance for the particular human, dog, you know, your child, whatever the case may be. Honestly, the goal is social. The goal is balance. You know, that's what I think that is like harmony and balance. That's why engines have a harmonic balancer. You have all these moving parts on an engine, pistons and rods and, you know, all of these components, but it has this balancer on the front that just keeps it all running smooth. So I think the balance is really where life chills out.
What do you think about the school system?
You know, the school system is, you know, whoever's paying, you know, whoever's the donor, you know. So that's gonna be, you know, the agenda that they're doing. Me personally,
Like for your kids?
for my kids, you know, I'm gonna double down on what they need to know at home.
Yeah.
You know, and teach them the real. You see, and not give them some storybook fantasy type life. You know, I'm gonna really double down on what they need to know, right? And then when they go to school, you know, managing friends, knowing where your kids are, knowing who your kids' parent, the kids' friends' parents are. You know, all of this stuff, it gives you kind of a little bit more control, right? Because once they're 18, they're doing their own thing. So you only have a certain amount of time to do it. So when it comes to that, you know, and then I want to raise my child overseas, you know.
Where?
In Morocco.
No way.
Yeah, that's where my wife is from.
Okay.
Right, that's where I met my wife. She's, you know, from there.
I've been to Morocco.
Yeah. So, you know, we bought land out there.
Uh-huh.
You know, I do construction on top of that. I do housing development stuff outside of the dog stuff. So we'll build some homes there, have some vacation, Airbnb resorts and stuff like that. But I want to raise him out there with his cousins and, you know, his family. Like, I don't want him to just be an LA kid.
Yeah.
I want him to be, you know, because out there it's real. You know, it's a third world country. But, you know, the people are happy. You see what I mean? And he's got all these people who are so depressed and anxious and this and that. They got the world. We're in LA, we're in California, we're in the USA, landed all the opportunity. But you got people who mentally are blocked because they feel like they don't have what they need, when in fact there's people with 10 times less, staying with a smile ear to ear, right? So I think that's gonna be another thing, man, is getting them, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna homeschool him, because I want him to be social. I want him to be that guy. He's already the, you know, basketball player, left-handed, you know, pretty boy with the blue eyes, beautiful kid, beautiful spirit. But again, I gotta protect him, keep him close, but then also push him out there. You know, that's one thing with my mom. She always pushed my ass to you know, get your ass on the bus. Go over there. You gotta walk home, you know, from this place to this. I can't pick you up. I'm working. Go deal with it. You know, learn how to ride a bike. Better keep pedaling. You're gonna fall. Better keep paddling, you're gonna drown. You see what I mean? Not where she's gonna actually let me drown, but pushing your kid. You gotta push him a little bit. You know, even when she be closing up at night at her work, at her shop where she's selling skincare products, client comes in, you go deal with it. Go talk to him. Go bring them in. You know, go sell that. You know, and when you push it, oh shit, what do you mean, mom? It's pressure. You know, people need pressure. People need something that's good, because that's that kicking ass, like your coach. Like you could run some laps, or you could run some laps with your coach with a timer, and you know you got that pressure. You know what I mean? You're gonna perform different. You know, and I think we all need pressure, and I think that I plan on raising my kids with some pressure, but a lot of reward. You know what I mean? They go through the pressure, they come out victorious.
Yeah.
You know, and now they say, "Hey, I'm used to pressure. Life can push me around a little bit. I'm gonna get through it because I was built up to that." You know, so I don't really worry about the school so much. Like I said, I got my own curriculum that I got cooked up. You know, I feel like our school system doesn't really preach financial literacy.
Oh,
I feel
nothing really.
You know, it doesn't teach you entrepreneurship. It doesn't teach you how to balance your checkbook. It doesn't teach you, you know, life skills, how to you know, survive in the wild.
Or make a family.
Make
and
a
get
family.
Married.
Yeah.
There's no values.
Yeah. It's just kind of like, you know, so for me, I feel very, I'm gonna be very hands-on. And my goal is to create a lifestyle that gives me the free time to be able to be a dad as much as I can, where a lot of people, they get totally sucked away. They don't have the time to even invest in their kids because they're so consumed by their job or whatever they're doing. I'm trying to create ways that I can take my kids and pick them up from school as much as I can and make sure I get in that. Cause I take this dad shit serious. You know what I mean? It's not a game. It's like raising your puppy. You're like, I want to be the best.
Yeah.
You know, so again, out of the beginning, it's all fun. It's very free. Very free. You want to wrestle? Wrestle. You want to play football? Football. You want to play basketball? Basketball. You want to play gymnastics? Gymnastics. Go be you. But figure out what you're going to do, and you're going to do it for real. You know? So that's my take on the kid, raising kids. And same thing for my daughter. I don't really raise them like, I want my daughter to be tough. You know, my wife, she's a rugby player. She's a gymnast. You know what I mean? I like tough women.
Yeah.
Because I think that even women need to be tough too. Life is real. You know what I mean? They will be mishandled by people in life, you know, taking advantage. They got to be sharp. Got to be able to, you know, protect themselves. So I believe everybody should have some toughness to them, you know, mentally.
Absolutely. Do you know David Goggins?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he's
He
a
always
great
talks about like
inspiration.
callousing your mind, like making your mind strong.
Yeah.
Because when everybody can be happy, you know, it's easy to be on a yacht, enjoy the sunshine. But how are you gonna deal negativity and like when something happens in your life? You know, like how are you gonna deal with that? So
Get hard.
if you train yourself with adversity every day, you're ready when it comes. You know.
Yeah. I think that's important. Again, the yin and the yang. You know, even in business, like you got wins, you got losses, and those losses are lessons.
Yeah. Do you like purposely put yourself in like challenge yourself in ways?
Absolutely.
How?
A good example would be to spend all my money on real estate. Now, I'm not going to necessarily go buy a Ferrari, right? But I'll buy a building, I'll buy a property. Now my money's gone. Now I got to go hustle and get some more money. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So things like that, that's a fun one. You know, challenges, you know, just like putting pressure on my goals in business, saying like, okay, well, I got to get here. So what's it going to take to get here? What am I going to have to change? What am I going to have to double down on? What, you know? So I think, you know, the game of life is like, I don't really do it for money. I just do it for like those wins and those dopamine hits, and it boosts your confidence. The more you win, the more you're confident you get, more you want to take on more and try something new. And, you know, like I said, be an example for my son and show him, look, you can do anything. Like, I don't want to press him to be a football player or anything athlete like that. I want him to know business. I want him to be able to be smart and say, I'm self-sufficient. Put me anywhere. Take all my money, I'll get it right back. You know what I mean? I think that comes with game. And I think that, you know, if you could take strip somebody from of everything they have, all their possessions, if they got the game and they got that knowledge, that wisdom, they'll get it all back. So, yeah, for the most part, man, I love to put myself in awkward situations because if I come out victorious, I just know I'm a bad dude. You know what I mean? You look at yourself like, yeah, I did that shit. But if you don't put yourself in any challenges, you don't really know what you're made of. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I definitely think it's important to challenge yourself.
Are you ever worried that you spoil them too much?
I don't spoil him.
Okay.
I don't even buy him a lot of toys. He likes what he likes.
Yeah.
You know, he wants his dog leash. He thinks he's me already with the dog training. He wants the Cali K9 phone so he can watch my reels. I mean, he doesn't go off on, he likes a couple YouTube shows, but he want to watch Dad.
Yeah.
He want to watch the dog. He's a dog dude, you know, or he goes outside and plays with his sister. You know, they do a lot of stuff. They get creative with stuff, but I really don't spoil them. You know, I think spoiling, and this was the thing, is in dog training, we have what we call oversaturation of reward, right? So the dog will lose value if you oversaturate, you give it too much. So if you keep it scarce, the dog appreciates it more, right? So I do that same kind of logic with my kids. I keep things valuable. And then I say, you want to do this? Yeah. All right. Well, let's do this, this, and this. And we can do this. Yeah. You see, let's do it. You know, because I keep everything valuable. So I look at spoiling as like, you just give them everything and you don't make them, you know, they lose value. For me, I want to keep everything valuable. Even if it's a toy, You know, you say, oh, it's a special toy. I know it has value. So I could take it away and that'll upset you. And that you'll feel lost, and which means you'll probably change your behavior if you know that you can lose that. So it's all, man, it's like raising kids and dog training, so many parallels. But yeah, I just think that what was the question one more time? Sorry.
Oh, like the sport, like,
Oh,
buying them like.
spoiling. Yeah. So with the spoiling, I try to keep it exclusive. I like some people, I think you can even buy their significant other too much stuff. Now I was like, oh, just another Birkin. Like a Birkin? Like this is that, what do you mean? It's a whole bag. This thing costs thousands. But when people get so like desensitized to valuable things, then that's when they become spoiled. And then they get that kind of ungrateful attitude. So as long as they don't get ungrateful, you know what I mean? But I like to give them a lot of things. They should work hard and get whatever they want, but they have to work for it. I think it's very important to work for it. Just like, even dog training, right? I hand feed the dog if I'm trying to train it in the most efficient, fastest way possible. Dog's working for his food. So even his kibble is not just sitting in a bowl. I got to work for that. I got to hunt for it. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do that. And again, we go back to humans, people who ain't have nothing. I got to work for it. I got to go be better than everybody, or I'm not going to get this. I got this one shot. You see what I mean? And it's valuable. And they stay focused because they know the value. You see what I mean? Versus like, oh, you got camp. I pay for your camp. You go to this place. You go that way. You go to LeBron's house. Go train with his people. And kids gonna be like, oh, whatever. Versus you got that one shot to go to this one camp. I just got this football player I just sold an executive protection dog to, plays for Denver Broncos. He is one of the top 5 guys in the country. He got one time to show out at a Senior Bowl, and he balled his ass off, and he got his shot. But he knew he had one shot. Like Eminem says, you only get one shot. Do not get your chance to blow. This opportunity comes once in a lifetime. See what I mean? It's a lot of shit behind that. Like, you got to go crazy when you get your chance, And I think that a lot of people take shit for granted, like they're gonna get 100 chances, and that person who goes hard every play is gonna outshine that person who gets too comfortable.
Man,
some shit, huh?
That's some
it's
shit.
It's all dog shit.
What about with your wife? Do you spoil her, or do you also toughen her up?
Nah, man.
She's tough already.
That's my best friend. Yeah. Number one, she's definitely tough, but she got a different value system. You know what I mean? She doesn't care about me. She got nice bags, nice car, all this stuff, but she don't care about that stuff like that. She's very family oriented.
Yeah.
Culturally, and she's very, into helping me and being like, see, the problem is, I think in society now, people are competing with their significant other. It's like, who's doing better? I'm doing. Oh, y'all gotta be a team. The world is crazy. See what I mean? So I think we accommodate each other. I support her. She supports me. Right now, she's holding down the kids, and she knows like, hey, but when it's time to launch everything that you're doing, I'm 100% behind it. And I'm going to go just as hard as I'm going for me because we're a team. So as far as me, I don't really try to, train my wife, right? But I think that, I think being a team player, and understanding like what is it going to do to keep everybody happy and that harmony and that balance happening so we can raise these kids and be with each other and enjoy each other and, live our best life. That's what I say. I tell people, like, go to counseling sometimes, right? Because let that third party figure out more about your partner. And let them figure more out about you so y'all could be in better harmony, right? So now if y'all in better harmony, now you're going to get more stuff done together. Y'all going to be able to not be at each other's throat. You're not going to be sitting here, trying to one-up each other. Like, got to be on the team thing. So for me, man, I feel like she's a perfect woman because she goes so hard in the R movement. And she'll sit there and play the background because she understands the big picture. You see what I mean? Where a lot of people are so selfish nowadays, they want what they want. They want the attention. Or I want, oh, you're doing too much. You're getting too much attention. I want some of that. Whereas me, I'm like, she knows how to rock with me, and play her position, and I play my position. And again, I go out, our dynamic is kind of old school and traditional. I go out and make the kills, and I bring it back, and she fillets it up for it and puts it on the table. You see what I mean? So it's really it's great. It's like Bonnie and Clyde. You know what I mean? Like we out, it's us against the world, but we know our positions on the team.
Yeah. I
If
think
you-
that's where so many people get it twisted because the society wants the woman to be the entrepreneur and the successful and even shames it when she's like holding the kids down. It's like, oh, you're a mother now, you're a mom now.
That's the craziest thing I ever
they
heard.
make you feel like not good enough. And even though moms have this beautiful sense of connection with the kids and
It's the best.
the man got to go for the kill and when that is very understandable for both parents, then you guys are a team, one unit,
Right.
and things just work themselves out.
Right.
And I think also you being so disciplined and there's nothing more attractive for like being a husband that is very determined and having a plan. I
Right.
think there's nothing more unattractive than like if you're like a slug on the couch.
Right.
She will take you also as an example,
Yeah.
being so hardworking, and she'll work as hard just raising the kids, and that's really nice.
Yeah, that reciprocity,
Yeah.
But again, see, a lot of times people want this super person, but again, you have to be that super person.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And that's what you're gonna attract what you are. You know
Of
what I
course,
mean?
They say like your wife is like a representative almost of yourself.
Yeah, exactly. And again, sometimes people, they get into the, oh, that's my partner, that's my this, that's my wife, and I'm her husband, and we rocking.
Yeah.
However y'all rock, that's cool over there, but we doing this. And a lot of times, again, we just can't let people get into your family dynamic. Because I feel like you need to have your plan and for your legacy and for your family. You know what I mean? I think that honestly, what we call it, the matrix, right? The matrix wants to keep you divided and beefing with your spouse and separated. I think there's just like
And dating 5 women, being in the club, wasting your life
wasting
away.
your life, blowing your money. Degenerative behavior.
Yeah.
Haram.
Haram.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So for the most part, man, I think that whoever you decide to be with, it needs to be a partnership, and y'all need to be working in unison. Otherwise, you might as well be alone.
You ever look at dogs and you're like, what the fuck did we do with wolves? When they breed them.
Yeah, when they go
to
back,
these-
when they go back to wolves, that's what I don't. That's the problem, right? Because wolves are antisocial, scavenging, running around, fending for their own, fighting as packs. Once we domesticate them, now they're like supposed to be led by us, which means now we have to be leaders, right? Which means you have to fulfill that role. And I think even going back, it's funny because I always go back and forth from between animals and humans. Women, for example, if they don't have a strong man, right, then they have no choice but to do what they do. And dogs do the same thing. They say, well, shit, I got to fend for myself. I'm scared. Nobody's helping me. Well, rah, 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 barking aggression because I'm scared. Nobody's consoling me to tell me I'm okay, right? And the same thing goes, like, if you're not being there for that person who's about to crack, they're on the edge, and you don't catch them, and you can't say, hey, oh, I got you. You're good. You don't got to trip out. You don't have to, that's where it's so important. We have to be able to, when we talk about domesticated dogs, they need to be led, and I think even in a household, I think there needs to be a leader, right? Because in a household, again, it's funny. People always say, use that what happens when somebody kicks in the door, and they're down there? Who are you gonna send? And I've been in that situation. I've been in an attempted home invasion, and it was all animal instincts. Like, what? My family? My wife? You think you're gonna try me? Wrong decision.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. You gotta go and be that alpha protector that you need to be. And see, most people, they don't get pushed in those situations. We're not living in the Roman times or having to fend for ourselves.
It happened to you though.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, that's the thing. So you realize, and then my woman realized, like, that's my man.
Yeah.
That man, he can't, you know what I mean?
He's not on the floor all emotional.
Yeah. It's like, ain't no time for that shit.
Imagine you're on the floor all
Scared
emotional.
and, oh my God, yeah. So, I just feel that back to the original thing you were saying, as far as kind of the man not really being a man, I just think that I think they kind of push certain agendas.
And it's just for I get the whole LGBT, I get it, right? I get the transgender, I get that too. But we're talking about a tiny percentage of the population. There's a huge problem with growing up young men that have no more role models and no more people to look up to. And obviously, I want everybody to be free and do them, but don't put that like all those pronouns and all that shit. Don't put that on me. If you want to do that, go for it. You can
Right.
call yourself whatever you want. I have no problem with that, but don't put that on me.
Right.
And
And I think that's the thing is there's a lot of. It's funny. I was watching.
you can't even say that these days
I
because
know.
now you're shaming.
You're canceled. You
and
get
you're
canceled.
canceled.
Yeah.
But we gotta understand that it's a huge problem if you have a lot of young men that don't have any role models anymore. And
Right.
then people like Andrew Tate rise up crazy because there's nobody else. You can't look at your president and be like, I want to be like him.
Right.
You can't look at any CEO because they all have a belly and they're all fat, and like I want like a strong man to look up to and be like, that's me. Like I want to be like that, you know. And we're in a time where a Barbie doll is unacceptable because it puts pressure on little girls. Like that's like saying a Superman like puts pressure on me, like because all those muscles.
Right.
Now I gotta like cry about it
No,
because
it's
I don't look like Superman.
Right.
But you could also just like try to be your best version and become as close as you can to a superhero.
Well, I think that they want to make everybody feel accepted, and it's not about like hard work and tolerance and discipline and all these things is like these are things that aren't easy, and it's like a lot of people like try to do cop out by calling it this or calling it that, where it's like no, you're not disciplined. You're not really going that hard. You're not really, you're not trying to change.
Yeah,
You
you're not depressed. You're not disciplined.
Yeah. And the thing is you have to have, I think that the key is with the dogs, right? First thing we do is we get them what we call the dopamine state,
Mm-hmm.
which means the dog's not anxious. When I take an anxious dog or a distracted dog, I cure it with the dopamine state, which means I have him engaged. He's motivated. He's anticipating good things. He's looking forward. His expression is positive. And that is then I start I get him excited, I get him motivated, I get him, and otherwise, the dog is scared and worried about what's gonna come in from nowhere. Ghosts and goblins who are walking upstairs because he's just hearing noises. That dog's in an anxiety state. Or the dog that's, oh, what's this? What's that? What's this? What's that? That's the distracted state, right? So we cure it with the dopamine state. With dopamine, you gotta find your purpose. You gotta find what you love. You gotta find what's gonna get you, like, what's gonna take you there. And people get motivated by the beach. Some people get motivated by nature. Some people get motivated by money. Some people get motivated by, inspiration from all different things. But whatever it is, you gotta figure out what it is that's gonna get you off the couch, and stop making excuses, because we all have some kind of purpose. And I think it's important for us to figure out who we are, figure out what our purpose is. But we don't do our purpose unless we try things and we do things and we meet people and we get out there, But again, most behavior that I deal with comes from fearful energy. My whole thing is instilling confidence in the animal, right? So most people lack confidence. Most people lack security. Those people lack that I'm gonna get through it. You know what I mean? And I think that it's being accepted and tolerated. And it's not like, hey man, stop being soft. Get out there. Just like my kid cries, all right, buddy, you're all right. I'm not gonna sit there, oh, it's okay, it's for over long. Like, okay, cool. Oh, you all right, buddy? Okay, cool. Well, let's keep pushing. Again, we have to know that life is not always gonna be easy. And I think today's society, everybody wants something so instant and quick and so easy. And then thing gets hard, then they shut down and then they blame every excuse why they can't do it. When in fact, they're disciplined, the hard work. Same foundation, the fundamentals, but they also lack that motivation. They don't know what they're chasing. They're not chasing anything. You know what I mean? Some people chase, the chase, the fun's in the chase. They say the fun's in the chase. So you got to figure out what what's fun that you're gonna chase, right? To get you out of that depression, to get you out of that uncertainty, to get you out of that lack of confidence. Figure out something that's gonna take up your brain space and not let those bad ideas settle in your brain, and you be working on productive, not destructive thoughts.
Absolutely. And I also think like they're chasing the wrong things when it's like all about the next outfit or the new iPhone or the better house, the better car. If it's and it's not like the family or I want to have 5 kids, or you don't hear that no more. Like a young man being like, yeah, I want to be a family, I want to be a dad, I want to be a father, I want to be a role model in my society or under my friends, you know. I want to lead people or help people. It's all about the better watch and the better car.
Yeah, better status. Well,
Yeah.
we live in a very materialistic society.
Yeah. Is that why you want to get out of LA or?
I don't really mind being in LA.
Yeah.
I just know that children, can be susceptible to stuff.
Yeah.
So my thing is just let's get a different picture too.
Mm-hmm.
I think LA is a fantastic place. You know what I mean? I think there's so much opportunity, so much networking, so many ambitious people, so many people trying to make it happen. At times I get, it's always got bad traffic or people act Hollywood. Well, guess what? None of my friends act Hollywood. We all chill. We were at the barbecue at the house, like, we doing normal shit. Ain't nobody Hollywood. So the thing is, you just have to figure out. So it's funny because a lot of people, it seems like in LA, they're trying to make it, right? Then they're like acting like bigger than they are. Then they make it and then they chill out, right? So it's just a trip because, there's a lot of people who are trying to fake it till they make it. And more power to them. You know what I mean? I was laughing on my way here. I was talking to my friend. I said, man, I remember putting 20 years experience on my flyer on my first year of business. You know what I mean? But it's like, shit, I'm just trying to make it happen. You know what I mean? But again, as you get more successful, I think you get more chill and you start looking at things that really matter. I think people are trying to chase, I can't wait to be in a Lambo. Then you be in a Lambo, you're like, it's just a Lambo. You're like, okay, I got an AP. Okay, so what? You know what I mean? Like somebody kill you for this AP. Like, do you really even want to wear it? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like somebody's really thinking that that's the biggest achievement in life. Where you're just like, here.
Yeah, and then you become a dad.
Yeah, and then you become a dad. You see what's really
You're like,
valuable.
Yo,
and that's what say. You wake up to see my son go, Daddy, I want cereal. I wake up with a smile like, I got you, my boy. I got that. I got that. I got your cereal. You see him happy. Give me a thumbs up. Like, yeah.
Bro, and it's those little moments where you're like, fuck, man. That's way better than any
of this extra, yeah.
Phone shit.
Phone shit, car shit, all of that. I mean, a lot of times I think that people are just either overcompensating or they're like overselling, right? So like everybody doesn't need to necessarily have the crazy exuberance. But if you have it, you have it. Cool. But some people are like doing it before they even have other things in place just to look the part. And I think that that's just like kind of the society we live in. Like there's so much pressure. Like, even with like a lot of people like, with dating women, he's like, you put these athletes on the pedestal, you put these entertainers on the pedestal, they're rocking all the jewelry, the whole, their whole look is rich and luxurious and lavish. And, who do you think the girls are going to hang out with? You see what I'm saying? But in reality, there's plenty of great people out here. A lot of these guys are probably empty, and the people who are full don't have a lot of this stuff. But again, that's society's putting that pressure, and that's why I think honestly, a lot of guys are going overseas to get more of a traditional woman now. I think it's becoming a thing.
Of course.
Because I think
because these girls be freezing their eggs and waiting to have kids until they're like 40.
And that's like, that's crazy. But again, in society, they put pressure on the women to have to be correct. And the thing is, if the men are being reinforced to be real men and take care of their families and be a sole provider, then what's the woman supposed to do? Right? She has to fend for herself. Right? But again, the values, there's nothing in my almost 40 years that said like, get married, put together a family, do this. Like you only learn that from like watching like your family or what your upbringing, but nothing in society is telling you to do that. Even the old school Cosby Show and all those old, they used to have these families and you don't necessarily see that. You see what I mean? You don't see that example. And like you said, back to the superheroes, and it's like, yeah, you want an example. You want to have somebody say, I like that guy. I want to be like him. I want to strive to be, not be him, but get inspiration from him and go in that direction, that forward trajectory towards positivity or whatever. But, I don't think that's very profitable for the companies. You know what I mean? And again, we're living in a society now where it's all about the bread. You know, everybody monetize, how we making money. You know, but I don't think that that's the true way to measure wealth. I think, again, a balance. You got time for your kids. You spending time with your friends. You working on your body. You working on your mental health. You traveling, seeing nature, seeing the world. Like, you see somebody who got a lot of money, but that's all they got. Then you see somebody who got mid-level, but they got everything else. And a lot of times that's a happier person.
Yeah. Bro, I think about that every time I see these Mexican families with 5 kids. They're all happy, helping each other,
Chilling.
doing garden work or something, and they're just happy.
And shout out to all my hermanos. I love my Latino community.
My wife is Spanish, so
yeah.
Through her, I meet a lot of Spanish people. They don't think about, like, can we afford a kid?
Right.
They know the value of a child.
Right.
They get 5. Bro, these white people, they get like 1 kid. They're like,
right.
That's enough.
Right.
We can't do it.
And they're 50.
Yeah, and they're 50. And the kid grows up, they look like the grandparents and the kid.
Yeah. So I think it's a little selfish. What you think?
It's a narcissist.
Narcissistic, yeah.
And it's just so sad too. Like,
but they don't see the beauty of like that. Like, again, man.
And I used to be like that with my wife, and she really wanted to be pregnant, and I was like, no. Like, my career,
right?
The pressure. Like, I want to do me,
right?
But she wanted it so bad, and after some point, I was like, why not?
Right.
You know, she convinced me kind of, and looking back to that, it's kind of sad because if she didn't have that Spanish like blood in her,
yeah,
and she was a white chick, I would have not been a dad by now, you know?
Right. And I think, but I don't even think necessarily it's a white or black thing. I think it's just culture. I think you go to the South.
Yeah.
No,
of course.
You get people who are like, just more family oriented.
Yeah.
And I think
LA is not
it's not that family vibe.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody's like, I think vanity too. Everybody's worried about, I'm going to get fat, or I'm going to lose this, or I'm going to lose that, because maybe that's all they're working with.
Yeah.
So in the vanity world, everybody's like, but like my brother, his woman is from Denmark.
Mm-hmm.
She's a model, fashion model out in New York. I taught him to train dogs about 10 years ago. And he started his company out in New York with my brother. Brother got in a car accident. And that's where they originally grew up. And his wife's from Denmark. But again, she's all pro kid. And she stopped her modeling career. Not stopped it, but just took a pause to have that baby. And guess what? They just had baby number 2. And guess what? They was in Ralph Lauren couples with the baby bump. And now she's back, fit back to. But again, she's from Denmark. So she's European, right? She's white, but she's also foreign. It's like a different mindset in different places. And I think America just puts that pressure on you that, like, you can't have a kid, otherwise everything is going to stop and everything, no more clubs. No more. Man, I have a blast with my wife. Our kids get a damn babysitter. You go do your thing. You go back to the happiest place, which is your home with your kids. You know what I mean? But again, there's a lot of confidence and strength that comes from being that family, having that family unit.
Yeah, and still being able, like, once you realize that you're still you, and you can still accomplish even more now what you want to do.
Yeah.
When I first got dad, I was like, I had to like refine myself, and I was like so freaking out, and like it takes away all this time until you realize I'm being a coward and I'm doing excuses, and he's making me my best version of myself.
Right.
And then you reevaluate, and then you make time for what you got to do.
Exactly.
And once you like, again, like something very like negative looking turns out to be very positive, because you're like, I can do that actually. I have a kid or 2 kids. I can still get everything done and just wake up earlier. Or
well, like you said, it puts that pressure.
Yeah.
You put that pressure. By having kids, it actually puts a little pressure on you. Naturally.
Now you got to make money.
Yeah.
You got to provide. You're not like in an apartment somewhere.
Just hanging on with
a couch.
barely. Yeah, exactly.
And that pressure is like the best actually,
it's
because
the best.
now you gotta fucking get it done.
You got purpose.
Yeah.
And you got people who are dependent on
so much purpose, and so much like you got to be a role model now. Everything matters. It's no joke anymore.
Right. You
And
can't just think about yourself.
Yeah, and the best thing was that I like lost all the fun about degeneracy. Once the kid was in my life, I look at all the Dan Bilzerian shit. Does nothing to me anymore. Used to do a lot when I was like 16. I was like looking up to Tyga, you know, the trap. And I was
Right.
like, this is like, Future was like in my ear, and I was like, yeah, I want to be double cupping it, you know?
Right.
Until,
You're
until I'm
just
a
like,
dad, I'm like, what
I'm
are you
trying to
guys
go home,
doing?
bro.
Yeah.
Yeah. But again, that's, that they really they glamorize a lot of degenerative stuff in the culture.
Everything.
And it's bad enough. Again, you take a lot of fatherless homes, you take a lot of guys in prison, a lot of guys, get caught up in that, and then you take these kids that are so susceptible to be able to be influenced so easy, and then you just throw that stuff down their throat, which, it's in the hands of it's all because of the profit. Of course, there's money in that. There's money in sending people to jail.
Yeah.
There's money in all of this stuff. There's money in getting everybody stupid to buy, Jordan shoes with every ounce of money they have. Keep the people dumb.
Yeah, there's no money in educating people.
No.
That's why I think podcast is like so sick, because I can talk to you, I can like give you information, you give me information, and it's like the most powerful thing, especially like everybody listening to this.
Right.
Maybe everybody can take something back home and be like, you know what? Like I'll reevaluate, and like I'll change like my mindset, because it's like never too late to really focus and get discipline.
Never.
Yeah.
That's a big part of my show, man. I wanted to be that dude from Oakland.
Do you have any restrictions on your show?
My director was pretty cool. She let me do my thing.
Okay.
I said, I wanted to be that. I wanted to be that example. So I threw on a couple of my bust downs. I mean, I got my jewelry and shit. You know what I mean? I like jewelry. I like the shiny shit. It's fun to wear. It doesn't make me, but I like it when I put it. Put my shit. But I put that on. I made it clear I was Muslim. I prayed to Allah on there. I let him know I come from. Where I come from. It looks. The environment. I mean, I'm trying to be an inspiration, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to, when I started this company, Cali K9, I said, man, I'm not switching up for nobody. They're going to get the raw organic me. And when I got that show, I said, try to have me do no other stuff. Even when they say, can you wear this stuff from Target? You got too much branded shit. I wear Cali K9. That's what I wear. You know what I mean? This is my shot.
I like that.
You know what I mean?
like that.
Nah, yeah. I'm drawing my foot in the sand. Like, you don't like it? Hey, what you going to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
bro, better go down being you than like being successful with pretending to be someone.
Yeah, and then it's like, fake. And I just...
And unfulfilling, empty.
Yeah. And see, I come from a place where like, I got to go home and I got to be accountable to my, my people. So, and I got real friends who going to call me out if something's not right. You know what I mean? Or I'm doing something. Like, man, what's up with you, man? So again, there's just something about being from Oakland that's like, keeps it real.
So how come you come to the Candy Ken show?
Well, shit, man, you reached out on some organic shit, and I said, oh man, the bro's colorful, but he's doing some great things, and I figured, hey, you reach out to me in an organic way, man, hey, I'm gonna pull up, you can look at your content and try to make, what is this about? I say, man, I can connect with anybody. You see what I mean? And then especially when you meeting you, real cool dude. But again, you have a whole kind of character you got going on. So that's what people see from the outside. But for me, I don't care. We're gonna find some kind of connection somehow, some kind of common denominator, and link on that. I don't look at differences. I look at things that are similar. You said
because they're trying to divide us.
Yeah,
and it's like even if we don't agree, we need to talk to each other to disagree,
right?
Because if you only talk to the people that like think like you,
right,
you become in this bubble where you don't understand like left and right anymore.
You have to have, we live in a all-inclusive, diverse environment. You know what I mean? So you can't be closed-minded. And that's why it's so important. Like even with dogs, we socialize them around people, around scooters, around shopping carts, around vacuum cleaners, around babies, around this dog, around that dog, around energy, around laziness. We all have to be like that. We all have to be able to be social with anything and everything. And the most phobia comes from what? Fear, right? So when someone says, oh, you're homophobic, it's because you haven't been socialized properly.
Yeah.
So, I had gay tutors, shout out Corey and Alvin. You know what I mean? But he didn't, I was comfortable who I am, and they comfortable with what they doing. And hey, it's all good. We all human beings. You see what I mean? But I think that, it's a lot of hate, man. At the end of the day, and a lot of that hate stems from fear. Racism stems from fear. You know what I mean? supremacy stems from fear.
Yeah.
You scared that the other people are going to do better than you, so you have to keep them down. And as I said, I don't even look at competition in like my business world, right?
Yeah.
There's something for everybody. Some people gonna like me more than they like this other guy, and they're gonna like the other guy more than me. That's cool.
I
It's
know
all
we
good.
can all win.
We all win, you know, and we can win together.
Yeah.
You know, there's always a way that we could work together. You know, it really just comes down to, you know, people just having, you know, integrity and good communication skills, and we could everybody could build something together. You know, it's just a matter of you know, figuring out where our common denominator is.
So I got a family, no dog yet. Would you say like a family like needs a dog?
Whew, I know I didn't need that fart, boy. Whew, that boy, you stink, Slash. You just passed some gas. I would say.
So here's the story. My wife, right, obsessed with she has a cockapoo in New York, but she's with her family, but that was like the dog growing up. So she's obsessed with dogs, loves dogs, loves them. I grew up with a cat in Europe. Not a lot of people have dogs. So I feel like almost my parents took that joy from me a little bit, you know? And I really want my son, there's nothing more beautiful. I see him like looking at dogs. He loves dogs, right? And I feel like every kid loves dogs if you let them. So I really want to, first of all, I want to give myself a chance, but also since I never had a dog in my life, and I really want that, like, especially watching your show, I just got so pumped up because like to have a companion, you know, to bring him to the gym, to go on hikes. I mean, there's so much like good things, and to have somebody so excited about you and really also showing him discipline and learning how to direct him in the right direction. So I'm really, really excited. But she's obsessed with, so she wanted, it was half golden and half poodle.
Oh, golden doodle.
Golden doodle. And I just, looking at a golden doodle does not get me excited. She thinks they're so cute, right? But I don't, it doesn't get me excited. And
so you don't like the look?
I don't like the look, but also the size and everything about it. Like I want like a dog.
Okay.
Like how you have your dog. So we were thinking like we might be able to settle for a golden because she loves golden. But it was like always a discussion if it's like too big of a dog but like I feel like as a strong man, I want to have a strong dog and not like a little puppy, like a handbag dog, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, a happy medium would be a schnauzer, a giant schnauzer.
What is that?
Kind of fluffy hair looking dog, good looking, but no joke, you know, serious dog that, well, you know, can still be a protector, family. I mean, a lot of times, you know, especially with like California right now, right? They got all these home invasions. People, there's all these laws where people are just getting out of jail. There's a lot of crime right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Also a lot of mental.
And a lot of mental stuff, right? So I think that like people need to have their own security measures. You know what I mean? Because you try to call the cops when a crime is happening, you're not going to get much response around here for 30 minutes. So you need to be able to. So I think a dog is a great companion. It teaches, you know, compassion. It teaches, you know, just working with animals teaches kids a lot. You know, and it's dogs are love. You know what I mean? So if you have love in your house at all time, they're always looking for love, and like they're not like trying to do some slick stuff. They're plotting. It's almost like your children. You know what I mean? And they're not as special as kids to me. Now that I have kids, right? But it's close.
Yeah.
Right. And I just think that man, a schnauzer might be a good. You know, I would buy a schnauzer. I like Rottweilers too.
What about Goldens?
I like Goldens. I think that they're excellent family dogs, but I just was listening when I'm listening, I'm listening to like what you want like a masculine dog, but then a dog to like make her happy.
Yeah, or just like a good family dog for my
honestly,
son.
Yeah, a golden is a fantastic dog.
Yeah, just a good family dog.
Yeah,
Not
but the reason why poodles, the golden doodle, right? Because they don't shed.
Yeah, that's another thing. She don't like the shed.
Right? So now you got to think about it. You got kids. You want to have more kids. You got a busy lifestyle. Do you really want to be vacuuming every 5 minutes if your dog's in the house? You know, a burner doodle is another good one. Okay. I'm working with one of my clients now. He's a big stock. He's a YouTuber. He's got a burner doodle we're training. And then one of my YouTuber clients, they got a Bernedoodle. It seems to be a good dog as well.
Bernedoodle.
But it's a Bernese Mountain Dog, so it's kind of a big dog.
Uh-huh.
And then a Doodle. But again, they mix everything with the Doodle because they're trying to get rid of shedding.
Yeah.
Shedding is, it is what it is. So I mean, I'm not opposed to the Golden Doodle. They could be pretty nice dogs, but Golden Retriever. I mean, I'm not really a dog breed guy. I'm more of a temperament guy, right? So it's like how I look at friends or people. I don't look at when I'm looking at like who you are, not where you're from.
For sure.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm same thing with the dog. Like a good dog is a good dog. He's skittish and scary and nervous about everything. Damn, needs a lot of work. But the dog is like confident. Take a Jack Russell Terrier, a confident little dog, 40, 30-pound dog. Maybe get something little smaller just for the kids in the meantime, and then get a bigger dog. Or if you got the space, you get your dog and she gets her dog. And training with Cali K9 will make everything harmonic. It'll be all balanced. So it's just it comes down to just trying to figure out a happy medium, I would say, yeah.
Man, and then you provide everything. You provide house visits. You have your school.
Yeah,
you can come to.
Yes, I have 2 facilities, one in Northern California, one in Southern California, where you can come and train with us. Then I have 2 ranches where you can send the dog to my team and we keep the dog, train the dog for 30 days. And then we also have like VIP stuff where I could come to the home and work with you like that. But, I have a whole team that all works with me. And then we also have online training. So for anybody who's overseas or out of the state or, not close or on a budget, we have everything that I teach in person. I have it all in a training video series that you can get from CaliK9.com. Yeah.
Man, everybody go check out Cali K9. We'll link it down. It was fascinating how much humans and dogs have in common. And I love how much purpose and how deep everything goes, like how you approach the whole subject.
Yeah,
because it's
you
really
come in light and you can go deep.
It's really not about dogs, Same as like Candy Cane is not about being like colorful. There's much more to it. And man, thank you so much for coming over and talking to me. And
yeah, man, it's a pleasure, man.
Hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.